Welcome to another episode of the Wood Couture Podcast, recording live at Downtown Design Exhibition. Thanks to our friend at Lasvit, we are here in the company of the one and only Vera Dieckmann, the founder and CEO of Atelier. Welcome to the show, Vera.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Thanks.
This is a special edition. Coming up, we have a very interesting interview recorded with Vera a few days ago, but today we're going to have only a flavor of what is coming in the full-length interview. So, to start with Vera,
yes.
This year Design Week theme is sustainability.
Yes.
What role does sustainability play in your business?
I think sustainability in the design industry is a very common theme for us because it literally touches us every day. So we currently have a few construction sites which are in some of the LEED certified buildings here in Dubai. For example, we have a construction site in ICD Brooksfield. So we have to handle all these sustainability issues specific there, very intense. So I don't know if you know a bit about this. So if a building is LEED certified and platinum certified, it has impact on the AC equipment, on MEP equipment, on materials you're allowed to use. And of course this is a big impact on the construction side of our job, which is in the end not so much visible on the beauty of a design. But when it comes to design, we as brand and we try to avoid too much materials which are more or less like a one-way material. We avoid plastics. We try to work really with genuine materials, something which is really crafted, because I think it's also there's such a value behind it, and of course people think more or less better about the way how they buy it, how we produce it, how we design. We always try to keep purchase change quite small, avoid long distance trips and traveling and shipments and all this kind of crazy wrapping and packing and traveling items towards the world just that the client gets whatever, a chair or a lamp or something. So that's the way we try to reduce it. But of course, just a few days ago, Cosentino, one of our partner companies, launched amazingly a very great new material, which is also carbon neutral. And now we're looking for some of our projects also to look into these, so to really make it part of a design which also reflects brands, because we have, maybe mostly coffee brands. We work a lot with coffee companies and coffee shops, and some of them, of course, because they also work sustainable. So they support farms, they grow differently, the coffee and the planting, the importing, the roasting is different. So I think it's a whole kind of, it's really not just the little bits and pieces, it's this all together, how it comes together. That's
obviously the last 2 years has been very challenging for the design industry.
Yes.
And what has been your biggest takeaway of this period?
I'm in the industry since 24 years, but my own studio is literally only 1.5 years old. So we founded XO really during COVID. So, if I can say what's the most challenging, I have to say, okay, maybe the time I waited for the registration of our first application and license, because it took forever. We literally applied 24 hours before the full lockdown came to it, and then the lockdown came and all the public offices have been closed, so I had to wait like 16 weeks in lockdown in a hotel room till we finally got our license granted. So that was maybe the biggest challenge, but in general, I also, when I look now back and where we are now and where things picking up and moving and getting, for us here in the UAE, I have to say, more or less back to normal, I actually miss it slightly, because the time during lockdown, they also had something very calm and something very you could be very focused because you had the time to focus. You could focus on you. There was not much distraction. We only had a few projects. So you could be quite, of course, there was, fear of the unknown, what's going to happen, where we're going to end up. but on the other hand also a lot of creative freedom and peace, which I now sometimes would wish to have, to switch up the phone and or I don't know, stop the emails of coming in or going offline, to get this kind of incredible freedom for creativity.
What's your design prediction for 2022?
For 2022, I hope we say, I mean, prediction of design. I think design is versatile. I mean, everything is beautiful, like, you know, and I think it's beautiful that we have so many different influences in design and different cultures and different nations and different things. And what I see now here, for example, at the fair, I think it's a very vibrant fair this year. And it's also very nice because we have a lot of influences in from different countries again. Lebanon, Beirut, they had a booth. Lots of new brands are also here. It's a bit more colorful, a bit more vibrant than maybe the years before. Most booths are a bit more smaller. Compared to Milano, Salone, they had this example, I don't know if you've been, but they had this example with everybody had little booth boxes. So big brands, small brands, they literally showcase next to each other. I like this a lot because people have been, okay, that's a start, let's show what we do. And I think that's nice. It's more kind of come together and seeing a bit more, maybe what do others, what do the manufacturers do, the small craftsmanships. That's a bit the wolf.
Very interesting. So more colorful design. Now, everybody says we're living in the new normal. So people are modifying their relationship with the way they work, live and socialize.
Yeah.
So what role does lighting play in this context?
I mean, for me, lighting is very important. I mean, lighting is, I mean, we all know, we as human beings focus on light. We go towards the light and buildings. And I mean, my relationship to Lasvit is a very specific and a very unique, I think, because my first design piece was for Lasvit. So our first light installation, The Flow, was created with Lasvit as execution partner. And we won the award from Harper's Bazaar for the best design for this one. So, of course, with them I have a very unique relationship. But lighting for me is very important because I think light can make or break spaces, and that's in everything. I mean, you need light for a nice apartment, you need light for a clinic, you need light for hospitality projects, but also for F&B. Light makes it and breaks it. I mean, you can create moods with it, you can create atmosphere, you can in-scene spaces. You literally are, I mean, with the dimmer in your hand or the Dali in your hand, you're the master of darker night. I mean, you can even create sceneries, how things have an impact on your health or on your behavior. If you whatever focus only on a table, or if you maybe have a surrounding, or if you focus on the architectural shapes of things. So it's quite, light is, I think, one of the most important parts in architecture and interior design.
So as an award-winning designer, as you say, and also with a unique relationship with Lasvit,
yes.
What is Lasvit added value?
First of all, I think Lasvit is one of the, I mean, not saying the one because there are several, but it's one of the unique companies who have been able to bring a very old traditional manufacturing artwork, and that's the glass blowing, into the new century. Not only into the new century of design, also about the execution. Because if we all think about glass blowing and the glass makers, in the old way, we all knew how it looked the old way, right? When we think about the old crystal chandeliers, which is also the beauty in itself. But then you look at this beautiful piece behind you, and you see it's the same kind of technique in manufacturing, but you see this very sleek simplicity in it and the beauty in it, which is also amazing because it shows this kind of evolving of a product. And it's always literally 2 or 3 simple things. It's metal, it's a light source, and it's glass. And glass, I think, for here, and that's why I love it so much in this region, I mean, we always have to think glass is nothing else than scent. It's elixir. So that's so incredible. I mean, you need to think about we are surrounded by it. and it has such a beauty, and it has a beauty which you can change in different shapes, in different colors, in different surface structures, and that makes it so incredibly.
So now, as you know, you're very familiar with the Wood Couture podcast.
Yes.
And we have the grand finale.
Yes.
Again, massive white canvas on the top of Burj Khalifa. What message do you feel to write in that?
What message? Never give up.
Wow. Dear Vera, you certainly don't give up, and you always inspire us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.